Okay, good evening, you guys. Can I have your attention? Yes. Thank you. Wow. I have to read from the paper. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for showing up here tonight. It's a huge testimony to what we have become. And I'm just thrilled to see everybody here. Thank you. My name is Danica Keys, and I am with Save PV Schools. I want to start out tonight by sharing my gratitude. I'm grateful for this beautiful evening that we can be here tonight together.
Without masks.
Without masks. I'm grateful for this gorgeous home that we can share it in. Erinea. I'm grateful that we can gather together legally without having to defy the overreach of the governmental orders. I'm grateful to my husband, who from day one, he's hiding. There he is in the back. Who from day one has supported me through this whole journey, where we use our voices to protect our constitutional rights. That's what we're doing. I'm grateful to the DiMaggio family for hosting tonight.
Woohoo! Yes.
Sam.
Here. Where is he?
Oh, I'm back here.
Sam.
He's in the rain.
I thought you were taking a nap.
Thank you for the support that you've given to all of us, especially for the support that you've given to Erin and the roller coaster that comes with her being the most prominent communicator for Save PV Schools.
Yeah.
With her being her.
Erin, I love Erinea. I cannot thank you enough, and I am not speaking just for myself, but also for many people, random people, who've asked me to express their gratitude to you for the tenacity and your persistence and continued hard work on behalf of everyone in this community. You are amazing. I'm so grateful to my Save PV School sisters. Thank you for embarking on this incredible journey with me. You're the friends I've always dreamt of. Talented, intelligent, beautiful, brave, courageous, critical thinking, humble, full of love, and looking to connect with humanity. And I am overwhelmed with gratitude to and for this community right here. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that we've all built this community together that continues to grow. We have proven to be a community that can and has come together to fight as warriors for our children. We've fought for freedom of choice for masking in schools and won. We've gotten the school board to realize that handing out medical kits, COVID tests, to children is not a good idea, and that's why it's illegal. And Rick Phillips is not running. I am convinced that the pressure we've imposed as an organization and as a community on our district, county, and state has had an impact. I'd still love to hold that legal document that says never again, but that will have to come over some time and some more work. Tonight we celebrate our victories, big and small, and most important, we celebrate the foundation of this community right here, and in that we've already won.
Well said.
So that was so amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for coming. We have faces that have been with us since the start. So I just want to give a brief review for anybody that's kind of new to Safe PV Schools, and then I want to hand it to Aaron because he has a very important event to get to after this. So for those of you who don't know, we started Safe PV Schools August 11th when our school board refused to allow us to speak at a public meeting. And then they violated their constitution. The constitution, they would not allow us to speak. And after our meeting, they spun the narrative and they told a false story about who we were. They basically depicted us in a way that led people to believe that we were insurrectionists, when what we were parents who wanted basic informed consent rights. And I knew, after watching what had been going on in the news, that they would erase us, they would delete us, and they would tell lies about us. So immediately, I went online and I started a website, savepvschools.com. And luckily for me, Mo was there, who has a camera right now, and he knows that history gets erased by those who hold power. But we, the people, are the ones that hold the power. And he recorded everything. And I had just met him that night, and he sent me everything. He sent me all the footage, he sent me all the videos, so we had all of the evidence that we had done nothing wrong and we had done everything right. So I uploaded all of those videos so we could save them. And since then, we have done a tremendous amount of work. And I want to talk more and more about that, but I want to be conscious of the time. So what's come of Safe PV Schools, originally it was for us to get rid of mask mandates. So we went to board meeting after board meeting after board meeting, trying to advocate for our basic rights, parental rights, to choose what was best for our kids. When we realized our school board was never going to listen to us, was never going to follow the law, and didn't care about the United States Constitution or any of the amendments in it, we said we have to get rid of every one of these people on this board and elect a new school board. So we started to have closed meetings, we started to have backdoor meetings, we started to look at what women have done throughout time, and we got together and we shared our hearts, we shared our minds, and we made a plan. And together, we started to look for people who were running for school board. And we wanted to support people who would uphold the values in the United States Constitution. So we met with Aaron long ago, and the second I met him, I said, will you please run for school board? And at the first he said no.
Aaron's persistent.
If you know me, tell me no. Because that only inspires me more. Tell me exactly what I can't do, because then I will prove you wrong, and I will not stop until I prove you wrong and prove myself right. So now, Aaron Chan is running for school board. And he's standing here. And then we started to look around. Well, we need somebody else. We need somebody else. And then all of a sudden we see this name pop up, Jeremy Vanderhol. Who's Jeremy Vanderhol? Turns out Jeremy Vanderhol is perfect because he actually has upheld the Constitution, because he has served in our military and protected the people in this country, and he has put his life on the line. And there's nothing more refreshing than seeing somebody that is a true fighter, other than the people that have been sitting inside a plexiglass box with green masks on, making rules for thee, but not for thee. Right?
Yeah.
So tonight we have Aaron and Jeremy who are here, and I want to give them the mic so that you, everybody, raise your hand if you are in Palos Verdes and you vote in Palos Verdes. Perfect. Okay, so they know it was worthwhile to come. Thank you. So I'm going to give the mic to Aaron because he has a meeting to go to, but before I do, one thing that was really important to me is this quality of heart-centered communication. Heart-centered communication is that deeper why behind what we do. It's not what we do, but how we do what we do. It's the intention and the heart and the reason, the thing that gets us up in the morning.
Don't anybody get sick.
It's really tough to follow Aaron and Danica's speech there, so from the heart. I'm Aaron Chan, my wife Bonnie here with me.
Hi, Aaron.
We're originally from Hong Kong. We came here in '73 to go to college.
Gotta be louder, Aaron.
Okay.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you. So we really understand the importance and appreciate a good education system. And we moved here in '95 in Palos Verdes. We raised 2 kids, and they both went to Penn High, and they graduated and got really good education. The son went to NYU with a scholarship. Our daughter went to UCLA. So we are really very appreciative of the education system here. But before I tell you why I'm running, I want to share Rick Phillips' jokes with you. I think the crowd here would really appreciate it. Okay. Rick Phillips is a member of the school board who is no longer running. So as of December, history. So
Good place for him.
Rick Phillips is related to one of our neighbors. So he gave Ami Gandhi, who is my opponent, a sign. Ami Gandhi sign to my neighbor and said, "Could you please put it up?" My neighbor instead put 2 of my signs up there. So that was pretty cool. And then he started telling my friend, my neighbor, that, "Hey, I think Aaron Chan lied with all his numbers that he posted." And my friend said, "I don't know, I trust him." And he turned away. That was it. That was really precious. But getting back to who I am and why I run. We came here and we really want. This is my home. We lived here since '95 in the same home up near Peninsula High, and I don't want to see the home and the neighborhood going away. And we see that the school system is going downhill. And about 2 years ago, I was involved with the Measure PV, the PV bond. You remember that?
The $1 billion one.
It was 800 million.
Oh, okay.
Close to round off $200 million. But
I gave it a.
yeah, thank you.
So did Aaron.
We beat them by 63 to 37. I joined the team because I looked into the numbers and it didn't make no sense whatsoever. So that was when I started putting my toes into quote-unquote politics, and I got into it, and I was out in front of bonds, handing out flyers. Don't vote for this. And the team that I joined, we have about 13, 15 people. We have $13,000 for our budget. The yes side, they had $250,000 budget. How did I know that? I went down to the county and pulled their contribution records. They were contributions from construction companies, consulting companies. AYSO gave them $50,000. So you get the picture. These are vendors. They get to benefit if the school board passed. And with $13,000 and a bunch of, I call myself a ragtag kind of team, we beat them 63 to 37. They didn't really know what hit me. So that's my approach, because I think, I'm going to borrow a phrase that Richard Nixon, some of you are old enough to remember who Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon used the phrase that there is a silent majority among us. And I am relying on that group to help get me elected, because I'm not ashamed to tell you I just turned 70 in August. Wow. I don't need this. Okay? I don't need this kind of stuff. But I'm here because I want to make sure that our system, our education, will be good for our kids and their kids and their kids. Jake and Kat, they graduated from here. They have the same view and objectives. They want to make sure the schools are great, and they are helping me, and they're helping me counter all the arguments on, financials and all that stuff. And they are in the game. So I hope you are in the game too. What I'm running for, 3 simple things. One is the quality of education, which has been going down. You can see all kinds of numbers out there that people no, we have good schools. Yes, we still have decent schools. Don't get me wrong. But compared to 20, 30 years ago, the schools are not where they should be. Number one. Number two,
Quality, not equity, right?
right.
Yeah.
The finances. I don't know whether you know it or not, but if you look at the February forecast, that's when I got started. I look at the forecast. February forecast the school put out, this district put out, they show that their cash reserve will go to 0 in June 2026. And in 2025, the cash reserve will dwindle down to 3% of operation expense. And what happened when you get down to 3%? The school district will be merged with another school district. Could be Torrance, could be LAUSD, could be whatever. We don't know. So I went on, I went in front of the board. I asked them, it was in April, I said, please tell me I'm wrong. I don't want to see the school district going down. No response. Sharon there was kind enough, I gave her one of my questions and she posted to the board to ask them about deficit spending, which they have done 9 out of the last 12 years. Sharon asked them the question, no response. So then I volunteered to be on the Budget Advisory Committee. Didn't get elected. Okay? So yesterday I used this line, 3 strikes, right? They think I'm out. No, I'm all in. I'm all in. So that's why I'm running. And the third thing I'm running for is transparency and accountability. The reason why, just think about the facts that I just shared with you. They all came out from the school's audited statements, right? Jake will confirm me on that fact, right? And you didn't know anything about it. Why? Because they didn't tell you. They didn't communicate that to you. They only tell you that the sky's blue, people are nice, business is booming, everything's fine, right? So I'm running to make sure that we communicate everything to you because you are the voters. If you elected me on the board, I work for you. You're my boss. If you don't know, and I'm not doing my job, and you can fire me. It's really that simple. So those are the 3 things I'm running for, and I have yard signs, I have flyers. I'll be glad to share them with you.
Aaron, I have a question.
Yes,
Does majority rule or parents rule?
parents are the majority. Because what is the school for? To put education, the best education available to the kids. And who are the customers? Parents, kids. And I told this story many times that I worked for J.D. Power and Associates for 9 years before I retired. And what is that company based on? They build it on one principle, the voice of the customer. If you don't know what the customers are telling you, you're not doing your job. So who are the customers of the school district? All of you, all of us.
Every taxpayer.
Every taxpayer. Because they are hired, well, they are elected officials and they are hired by tax dollars that we put into them. So that's, I hope I have shared enough, but I want to give Jeremy the time to talk about his platform, but so that's where I am, and I hope you will support me by spreading the news. Go to my website and let people know what we stand for. Save PV School and Megan's organization, which is At First PV. I have about 20 if you want them.
How many's over there?
Maybe a handful.
There's a handful of signs. Raise your hand if you're going to get one on the way out. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
can
right,
get
great.
more.
Okay, so we want all of those signs to be gone. Okay? And in your yard. And then if you need more, you can go to, what's your website?
It's
Aaron?
kind of a long one. www.Aaron for PVPUSD 2022. I'll give you my flyer.
Everything's on savepvschools.com. That's easier. But every candidate that we're voting for is on our website.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
everybody. Another hand for Erin. My name is Jeremy Vanderhall. I'm also running for school board. For those that don't know, there's actually 2 elections happening simultaneously for school board. There's one 2-year term that Erin is running for against one person, the incumbent, and then there's another 4-year term. There's 3 seats that 7 people are running for. So it's me and 7 people running for 3 seats. I want to start actually by talking about something that Erin mentioned about my heart and my why. As Erin mentioned, I'm in the Air Force. I was active duty for a while. I'm now still in the Air Force in a part-time capacity as a part-time fighter pilot for the California Air National Guard. And for the vast majority of my life, I've been a non-emotional person. Like it's all brain. I have to when the crap hits the fan and you're flying at 500 feet, 500 knots, 10 feet from another airplane. You need to be calm, cool, collected, and just think logically, and not pay attention to your emotions. And similarly, when I was a test pilot, my job was to collect objective data that people can then use to determine what type of changes need to be made to airplanes in the future. And I would say the specific event in my life where that kind of mindset in general changed was when my daughter was born 3 years ago. We have my wife Katie is here supporting me. Yes, and we have a 3-year-old daughter named Noah. And for those that have kids, everybody knows when you have your first child, like your whole perspective on life changes. Like everything that you do now is focused on, hey, how does this affect my child? And so that, I've now had to like come to grips with the fact that I can't just be a robot, thinking person. I have to actually like have emotions, and that it scared me at first. But what I really like about it is it gives me this newfound sense of passion that I never knew I had before. And so that passion combined with my previous skill set of just being able to just be this objective-looking person over the last couple of years has really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of people have seen in the news nationally over the last couple of years some of the stories about school boards and how they kind of went off the rails, in places like Virginia, where school boards were doing pretty heinous things that had pretty terrible effects on kids, and the parents revolted. Like, to their credit, like the parents were like, we've had enough of this. We need to stand up to this. And so when I started looking at that on a national level, it started making me realize, we moved to PV. Katie grew up here in Palos Verdes. She graduated from Peninsula High School. We had been living in West Hollywood, and when we decided, hey, we want to start a family, we moved to PV specifically because of the schools, because she had nothing but great things to say about her school experience. So we'd been living here, and we had our daughter, and I started thinking, how are these schools actually doing? Are these school board stories from across the country happening here at home? And I started looking into it, and thank God it's not as bad as some of those, but there's some signs to me that it's trending in the wrong direction, and the board, our current board at least, is not really taking active steps to even recognize that there's a problem, and then certainly not take the necessary steps to fix those problems. So when I kind of looked into it, I tried to use like my passion for how I want my daughter to live her best life, but also from an objective point of view, what are the things that I can pinpoint and point to as like, these are the things that we need to focus on. And obviously for everybody here that's got kids, like kids are the most important thing, and you want everything to be perfect in their life. So it was really hard for me to boil it down to 5, and 5 is a lot of things, I know, but these are my 5 priorities and things that I actually want to focus on and come up with objectives on what I wear on results. And those 5 things are safety, academics, finances, parental involvement, and then high quality teachers, right? Mm-hmm. All of those things are important. If you're not safe, you can't learn. If we go bankrupt, we're absorbed into LAUSD, and the learning's going to go down. If parents aren't involved, you know, everybody knows that like when all the adults in a child's life works together, the kids win. So all of these things are things that I want to do. And going back to like the objective side of me is I like data. Give me all the numbers, give me all the data. And it seems to me that the board right now is more ego-driven, like because they view, hey, if we're doing a good job, it reflects great on us. Look at me, I'm this great board member, and I've had all these results. But what that means is that when things aren't jiving with their sense of reality, they're in denial about it. Like, oh no, don't pay no attention to those numbers over there. It doesn't matter. Like we'll figure it out, or everything's just fine. Don't even worry. And in that regard, I think actually being a kind of objective, you know, fighter pilot type of guy helps me because I don't have an ego when it comes to that, right? Like everybody thinks, oh, fighter pilots have these like machismo ego kind of thing, right? But what you don't know is when we after every flight we rip into each other like, hey, you were off your altitude by 100 feet, you were out of formation position, you know, you screwed up this shot here, and we take it because we want to get better, and that's the kind of mentality I want to have here. Like, hey, it's not like I don't want to blame you. Like, oh, you screwed up. It's like, no, hey, look, something is messed up here, and it's going to affect our kids. Like, and so therefore we need to take active and proactive steps to fix it. So my three right out the bat things that I want to do is I want to form 3 committees. One of them is an academic review committee, a safety review committee, and a financial review committee. And the purpose of all of those is to do a fresh-eyed look, objective, top to bottom, and entirely across the spectrum of our district. What have we been doing in the past, and what's worked? Let's keep doing those and make them better. What hasn't worked, and maybe let's change it. And why have things not worked, and how can we fix it? And the goal is not to assign blame. The goal is to figure out what has been working and how can we get this district back up to where it should have been this entire time, and make us the best district in the county, in the state, and in the country. That's, you know, you strive for perfection in order to achieve excellence, right? I think that was Vince Lombardi that said that. So that's
Stole it from somebody else.
so that's what I want, and bring it all back home to what Erin wants to focus on tonight is the heart. And the reason why I can deploy the objective skills to do this is because in the end I have skin in the game. My daughter is 3 years old. If I'm elected, she will start public school during my term. So I have skin in the game just like everybody here that's got kids, and so I'm motivated from a personal and guttural sense to succeed. So thank you everybody first of all for being here and supporting Erin and Save PV Schools and me and Erin, and thank you just in general for caring about your kids and everybody's kids in this district. And that's all really all. Thank you so much. Yes, sorry. I also have signs here. I only have 4 right now, but I've got a bunch in my car if anybody wants any.
Please take them away from us.
Yes. And my website is vanderhall4pv.com, and it's also on the signs too.
Or Instagram.
And Instagram. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Does this still work?
Yes.
Do I need this? So for those that don't have kids, and I just have learned this over the past couple months, whatever happens, and it's not like Vegas, whatever happens in the school board affects everybody in the community. When schools go down, home values go down. When home values go down, people start to move out. So it affects everyone. And right now there is an intentional ploy to, don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's a conspiracy fact. There is intention to take over Palos Verdes, to rip down our beautiful homes, and to build multifamily units on it, and turn it into every crappy other beach cities community. So if school districts fail, and people move out, which people have. My friend Jen moved out because of all of the policies. I know at least 10 families that left California because of California politics. They didn't leave because of the beach. They love the beach, and it broke their hearts, but they had to go because they couldn't stand the politics. So good families leave, and then all the value goes down, and then they come in and developers buy up our land. So it affects everyone, not just if you have kids or not. So we have within Save PV Schools, for those that don't know our whole story, I just wanted to share that, and then I'm going to hand the mic over to Teresa. But when we started in August, what ended up happening is initially we all felt so alone. We felt like, are we really the only ones that think we should have a choice in things? And we were made to feel as if we were crazy, right? The media did it. They sent out all these stories, anti-vaxxers taking over the meetings, anti-maskers. These are all character attacks, right? They want to dismantle the character, put you in a box, and make you appear as if you're this lone, crazy lunatic. So we initially felt like that. But what happened is Sharon, who's over there, she started Sharon is back here. Sharon started inviting us all to her house. And Sharon would have just invite anybody that was kind of like-minded. You like to smile? Good, come over. You're not afraid of teeth? Come over. So Sharon started having us all over to her house. And it was there when we were at Sharon's house that we're like, you know what, we need to file a lawsuit. We need to file a lawsuit because this is the only way to get them to pay attention. So Teresa is here, Teresa Sauter, and Teresa, she's not a lawyer, but she had all of this information. She knew how to file a federal lawsuit, and she's like, I got all the information, let's do it. So initially we filed this federal lawsuit.
5 of them.
5, and how many parents were on them?
About 17.
17 of us parents put our names on there. Now there was about 100 of us, but most people were like, yeah, I don't want to put my name on, I don't want to lose my job, because there was so much shame. There was so much of like, if you even said what you thought, you could lose your job, you could lose your friends, you're not going to get invited over for Thanksgiving dinner. So we're like, we want our names on there. So there was, raise your hand if your name was on there. Yes. 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 So these are the brave people that were like, I'm putting my name on there, I'm putting my address on there, I don't care, because somebody's got to do it. So that lawsuit ended up getting kicked out because you're not allowed to represent your own children in court.
In federal district
In
court.
federal district court.
You gotta have a couple of $100 million in the bank to represent your own child.
Yeah.
Where's the equity in that, honey?
Not there. So then we ended up filing a state lawsuit. So Teresa is well versed in all of this, and she also has other information to share that I'm going to pass the microphone to her, because that was a good segue. But this is Teresa, one of my mama bears that I love. I'm so grateful for.
I'm Teresa Sauter, and I'm supported by my husband, Chad Sauter, who has been my backbone in all of this. So thank you, honey. I really appreciate it. First, I just want to recognize Erin. You have been just a strong, courageous voice in all of this. She has single-handedly just, with our social media, she has written almost every article on that site. I think maybe I contributed to 2, but everything you see on Save PV School's website is all Erin. All of the reels that you see on Instagram is Erin. She has just put so much time and effort, and I just want to recognize and thank you from the bottom of my heart for standing up for our kids, going to every single school board meeting, and being attacked by all the crazy members of the community who just don't see what's happening. So I appreciate and I understand what it's like to put yourself out there. Thank you so much. So yes, we did have to file a state lawsuit. We have an attorney, Matt Harrison, We have filed 2 amendments. We are now, next week, they're gonna file the final amendment. And we don't know where that's going to go. However, I really believe that all the people who are filing lawsuits to stand up for our children and to stand up for our constitutional rights is having an impact on the state. And they're listening. And, you know, maybe we're not winning in court yet, but we have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep going because I don't believe this is the end. It might look like the end right now. I think they're gonna keep hitting us with other things. That might be a conspiracy theory. I know my husband coming over here is like, oh, please don't talk about conspiracy theories. It's the biggest.
Most of the conspiracy theories have actually come true.
Yeah. Yes, they have. Please talk to my husband. I always call them conspiracy facts, but.
Under the bus I go.
So recently in the news, you might have heard the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, ACIP. I've been watching these meetings since 2015. My daughter, who was twice injured by the DTaP vaccine, and our pediatrician at 18 months old said, I advise you to never vaccinate your child again. We don't know why she's reacting. So this is what put me into the center of advocating for my children. So I did a lot of research and I watched a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, and a lot of families be silenced. This was happening long before COVID. Everybody thinks, oh my God, you know, now doctors and scientists are being silenced. No, this has been happening for so long. It's gotta stop. We've gotta get the right information. So now the COVID vaccine has been added to the childhood schedule and the adult schedule. Most adults don't even know. Did you know we have an adult schedule? There's an adult schedule, yes. Us conspiracy theorists since 2015 is like, that's what they're after. They're not only after our children, but they're also after the adults to be vaccinated because it's a lot of money for them. It's a lot of vaccines on that schedule to
69.
No, that's for children, but there's a lot of other for adults. So we have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep after the legislation because now that ACIP has passed that and it's on the CDC schedule, the next step is the California legislator. And in July, I'm sure Dr. Richard Pan, who is a senator in Sacramento, or I think he's Sacramento, he will introduce legislation and he will try to get that put on the childhood schedule. He's been so successful. I've been fighting this since 2015. Now I feel like we have the numbers that we can defeat this. Look, if you want to vaccinate your children, fine, that's fine. But it should be a choice. That's all it is, it's a choice. So I just think that we need, as a community, just to keep the pressure on. So, and I want to thank everybody here who has donated to our lawsuit that we have been able to continue the fight. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Okay, so Anna Coyle. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. The other Anna.
I'm so sorry, Anna. Hi, I'm Anna McElroy. I'm just up here more than anything to express my gratitude. I think, I know my husband and I, like a lot of us here, maybe all of us here, have never really stood up for anything that we truly believed in our life. Because, you know, other people were doing that, or maybe we thought we just weren't going to make a difference. But for the first time in my life, when I realized that my children were being affected, a line was crossed. And I couldn't stay silent anymore for the things about this situation that I didn't believe in.
And when I went to the rally on August 11th, 2021, and I had a speech in my hand for that board meeting, it was really one of the scariest moments of my life. I've never done something like that before. I was never an activist for anything. Getting out there and holding a sign and yelling at cars and getting up there in front of the school board and telling them how I feel. But the emotion that I feel every time I think about that day and everything that we did there makes me know forever that what I did was right. Because the emotion that it drums up in me every time I see a video of that rally or a video of all of the amazing parents and members of the community that got up and spoke at that board meeting, I really can't explain every single time the emotion that wells up inside of me. And I feel so grateful for being able to be involved with this group of people, everybody here. Erin, you are the bravest person that I know. And you've been the voice of Safe PV Schools. And as has been echoed in the previous speeches, I mean, everything that you see online, all of our social media is all Erin. This has been Erin's full-time job. And the attacks that she has gotten recently have been shocking. And the way that she has come back and backed up everything that she has posted with facts and research that are documented and cannot be disputed has been so graceful. And there's just, I mean, there's not a lot of people like you that would do that and put themselves out there like that. And we are just so lucky that you were the leader of this effort. And to Teresa, her legal efforts, where is she? Right over here. Her legal efforts were unbelievable.
Thank you.
I mean, before we got to this point, before we really started getting involved with Safe PV Schools, I mean, the efforts that Teresa went to and the efforts that she's been doing for all these years to fight against all of these vaccination requirements and helping us to get these lawsuits.
Teresa's a pit bull.
That's right. That's right. She's a force to be reckoned with, and we were so lucky to have her. And then to Danica, who has not only been the heart of our group, but she also has had. She's also just. I had no idea what an eloquent writer she is. So many emails that she sent to school administrators and the sports organizations up here that just express the way that we all feel with so much clarity and just practical things that I was blown away. And to Lisa, who was our comic relief, and her wit and comic relief were just lightened up all of the dark situations that we seem to be finding ourselves going through this whole time. She was never afraid to speak her opinion and get in somebody's face and say how she feels, also backing it all up with research and documented evidence. All of us here just have been presenting facts this whole time. And what I'm seeing with all the attacks that Erin has been getting lately on social media is that these people they don't want to see the facts. They don't want to believe it. And I really truly believe that the people that we're supporting for the school board, like Jeremy and Erin, are going to get elected because there's a lot of noise online, and it seems pretty clear that there are a lot of people that are supporting you guys.
Yeah. Woo!
I just want to say, like, the very best thing about this journey has been all of the friends that I've made. Shortly before this, I felt so alone, and I didn't even think it was possible to make friends as a middle-aged woman anymore. And I have just made friends that I know I'm gonna be with for a lifetime. And it was just an unexpected blessing of this whole thing. Everybody here has been an unexpected blessing, and we're just, we love you all.
I want to piggyback on just saying that to find a tribe in where you fit in, you feel heard, and you appreciate. I probably would have not lasted the pandemic and the lockdowns without finding these people who upheld you and made you feel not crazy and not stupid and supported you. That being said, eat and drink, mazel tov. Enough of this.
Yeah.
Go eat some food. Thank you
I'm
for
going to
being
close
here.
it out real quick.
Go for it,
Take out the microphone.
Sorry.
Hey, wait, I forgot something really important. I forgot to say about the ASAP, that all of our exemptions for vaccinations have been taken away. Because I've been fighting this since 2015. So in 2015, our personal belief and religious exemptions to vaccinations have been taken away. In 2019, our medical exemptions have been taken away. So your doctor can write a medical exemption, but it's got to go to the state of California, and they have to approve it. But it's such a narrow window of what they can write it for that you'll never be approved for an exemption. So basically, if you want your child to stay in school and you don't want them to have the vaccination, the COVID vaccination, you are shit out of luck because you have no more exemptions left here in California. Other states you can, but here we cannot. So hopefully we can somehow change that as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know, and hopefully we can keep the website going and keep putting information about that in our efforts to battle this.
Yeah, so for those that don't know about the attacks, just this week, because I have the audacity to want to breathe without a face diaper on, I've been called a homophobic, racist, anti-vaxxer, anti-masker, of course. So I'm getting, there's a small group that come after me online. And, you know, whenever I get these attacks, it hurts. You know, I'd like to say it doesn't, but I feel an electrical charge. I feel this feeling of anxiety, like this wondering, did I do something wrong? And I have to sit with that. I have to really check in. And ultimately, what I know is in my life, the most important thing is that we are determining our own fate, that we are determining our own destiny. And what I saw throughout this pandemic was that people didn't care about the three most important words in the United States Constitution. We, the people. We are in charge. And for too long, too many small people have been taking over. And I know I allowed that because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't involved. I had no idea. I didn't even know who the school board members were when we showed up to that meeting. I literally was reading off the name tag. I was like, Rick Phillips.
You and me both.
Right? And people, there was 80 people that came to that meeting, and you heard people, because this guy, he cut us off and he said, well, if there's a mask mandate and none of them are wearing a mask, we can't have this meeting. And then there was an uproar in the crowd, and people said, who is this guy? None of us knew who he was. And so really, what this period is about is this reawakening of what this country is based on. And I truly believe our Constitution is a divine, sacred contract. We are not perfect. We are far from it. But when you read that document is perfect. It is beautiful. And it's up to all of us to uphold it. We, the people. And that means we cannot think that somebody else is going to come save us. And Sam, who paid for all the drinks over there. Since everybody else thinks their husband also. So if you know Sam, he and I are polar opposites. You know, like I start talking about well, in the metaverse. And he just gives me this look and furrows his brow. We've been married for 19 years. We couldn't be more different, right? But our common bond is our love for our kids, for each other, and our shared values, right?
Woo!
That's my sister. So,
Hell yeah!
so everybody that thanked me, there's no way
And sex
that I
helps.
could there's no way that I could spend the time
yeah.
I spent if Sam wasn't paying the bills.
Tab A in the slot B.
Sam has supported me in so many ways, so I'm very grateful for all
Thank
of
you,
his
Sam.
love and his
Thanks,
support. So I'm just gonna finish up with this, and then we can drink and be merry. And please eat all this food because I don't have room in the fridge. Erinea. That is the name because I think it was it February, Shannon?
Probably.
Okay, so that's my sister, Shannon. I've known her since I was born. We went to Erinea, and I paid about $20 for a cheap $2 glass of wine. And we were sitting down, and we were having a good time. And the busser, bartender, bouncer came over and asked, "Where's your can I see your vaccine card?"
Really?
Yeah. Erinea, $20 glass of wine. Can I see your vaccine card? I said, "I don't have a vaccine card. I have a medical condition. I can't get vaccinated." "I'm sorry, ma'am. You need to go sit outside." Now, I had at least half of the glass of wine, which gives me liquid courage. And I said, "Are you telling me I need to sit in the back of the bus?" If you're white, you can never say that. That's a horrible thing to say. He was very pissed. He told me again, "You need to leave." "I'm not leaving. I'm going to finish my glass of wine. It's wrong what you're doing. I'm not leaving." "You need to leave now." "I'm not leaving. You can call the cops." So then they had a meeting. 20 minutes later, the cops show up. Right? And basically the cops made me leave because they said they can refuse service to anyone. So after that, I said, I'm going to make the world I want to live in. And I'm going to make Erinea. And in Erinea, everyone is welcome. So I am so glad that you are all here and celebrating, and thank you for being here. And have a good night. If you drink more than a few drinks, please make sure you get an Uber. Okay. Bye. Thank you.